up guys, how's it going? So as you can see, it's the middle of the day. I get these like nice little shadows on my eyes so I look like a raccoon. Not the best for filming, but that's beside the point of why I'm vlogging right now. Today, I'm gonna do a Q&A, but I'm going surfing in the very middle of the day when it is the hottest. Yes, I'm gonna wear a rash guard, a whole bunch of sunscreen, but I'm going in the middle of the day so that I can try to avoid the crowds, because early in the morning and later in the day, it's usually really crowded. And even if the waves aren't as good, I'll probably get way more waves than I normally would. So we will do that and answer some of your guys' most common questions. Then come back and, you know, see what else we gotta do. Like I said, tons of sunscreen on my face and a rash guard. All right, so the first question is from Elong, and Elong asks, do I wear sunscreen on half my face? And I bet the sun is killer down there. Yes, I do wear sunscreen on pretty much my entire face. And another question that is asked really commonly with that question is, what type of sunscreen do I use? And the sunscreen that I have been using at the moment is this Headhunter. It's just the one sunscreen that I find around here. And sometimes I use this zinc oxide sunscreen. I basically just use the thickest sunscreen that I can find at the surf shops, because sometimes they change brands of which type of sunscreen they're selling. And the reason I don't use that thin sunscreen is I still get sunburn. It basically does nothing. So this is what I've been using. Let's go. Making our way down to the beach because it is boiling, boiling hot out. I cannot wait to get in the water and just cool off. I'm Sean Adkins says, you should go out with your GoPro and do a Q&A in the water. Like maybe just sit on your surfboard and answer some questions. Now that's a very good idea and I've thought about it before, but the reason I don't do that is because, well, since I have the GoPro Hero 4 and it goes in a waterproof case, the audio is absolutely horrible and you can't really hear what I'm saying. If I talk to it, it's just kind of muffled. Now the Hero 5, or maybe one of the sessions, looks like you might be able to do something like that idea. So if we're able to do that in the future, then we'll try that out. But for now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. The front page. Atua, is your camera attached to you via a lanyard or something? What happens if you lose your camera in the surf? I've been asked that a lot, and when I first started, I used to have this little string going from my GoPro to my neck or to my arm or something, but it would always irritate me and get in front of the lens and stuff, so I just started not really using it. I've answered that question quite a few times, but everyone seems to be wondering about that question, so answered it again. Yep. No lanyard for me. I find that it just tends to work better and works better for me. Let's see. Kid Singer 57. When you're body surfing and catch a wave, are you usually facing the beach straight on or off to one of the sides? Alright, right now I'm surfing, but sometimes I go out body surfing with no surfboard. And if it's a barreling wave, then I usually go to the side so that I can try to get into the barrel. But sometimes I just go straight because the wave is just going straight. So I like doing both. Iggy Nord, can you please explain how high tide and low tide affect the waves? Alright, so here's a short explanation of that. Usually when it's higher tide, the waves are mushier and usually not barreling, and a bit mushy, mostly whitewater. You usually don't find barrels. And then at low tide is more often when you'll find maybe barrels and more of like a hollow, steeper wave, better for maybe more critical maneuvers, and it's definitely maybe a little bit more advanced. It's easier to learn on, I would say, at high tide because the waves are mushier, and at low tide, waves are a bit steeper and a little bit gnarlier. Right now, I'm actually surfing at high tide, so as you can see, the waves are fairly mushy. They're not like, there's not like a barrel, or it's not like crazy steep. Alright, those are all the questions in the water. We should be heading in right after this wave. Maybe we'll catch one more wave and then head in. And actually, right now, I'm trying this new technique. Or not really new, it's nothing new. I'm just like trying to grab my rail as I do the cutback, and it's pretty fun. I did it on my last wave. And boom, we are back from the surf. Alright, that surf was insanely fun. Although we went in the middle of the day, I had an absolute blast because there was no one out there for me to fight for waves. So anytime a good wave came through, just paddle for it, catch it, didn't have to fight anyone. It was a dream. It was truly a dream. Not very often do you get just like these perfect, like good waves where you don't have to fight people. Pretty much always. There's always people that you're fighting for waves. It's actually a pretty aggressive sport now, if you think about it. Like, like, you want to get the best waves. Like, you're always fighting the other servers for best waves. All right, anyways, we answered some questions while we were out surfing. I'm gonna answer a few more questions, but one second. I was trying this new technique sort of thing out while I was surfing. Normally when you do a cutback, you kind of like come in and then you wrap around like that, boom, hit the white water. What I was trying is to grab my rail. So come in, grab my rail as I'm doing the cutback. So like, and it's not like a maneuver that's really hard to do or anything, it's just a different variation. There's tons of different variations in surfing for one type of maneuver. So that was really fun. Charles Vlogs asks, hey Atua, does the G7X have good audio? Charles, this right now is the G7X, so you can choose for yourself. Does this sound good? G7X, testing for Charles. This is what it sounds like. Oh, and check this out, I'm sitting in this weird like spot with all this like free, it looks like orange hair. I could start a wig business. Hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? Just Johnny05 asks, how much do you weigh? And then someone else right underneath asked, how tall am I? I weigh 125 pounds at the moment, and I'm about like a smidge under 5'9". I like just sprouted up in the last few months. I used to be quite a few inches shorter, and then all of a sudden I started just like adding on inches to my head. And it's not the hair, it's not. Mark Kopidiuk, do you plan to go to college of some sort? If so, which one? The way that I look at college is, you know, if I do go to college, it wouldn't be for a few years, so I'm not gonna worry about it. If I get to the point where I'm like, okay, right now I make the choice if I want to go to college or not. If it seems like college would, like, it would really help, like, my career and help me grow my passion or, like, improve on my passion, then I think it would be a good idea. But if maybe I don't see any reason, I don't see it maybe helping out what I'm doing, then, you know, maybe I wouldn't go to college. But I'm not going to worry about it for now because there's no point in thinking about it now. In a few years, I'll let you guys know. Yui B asks, did the Autel X-Star Premium come with a pre-mounted gimbal and camera, or do you have to buy a separate one after you get the drone? Alright, so both times that I've got my drone, it's come with the camera and the gimbal, but what is a pretty cool design, I must say, is you can actually remove it from the gimbal, so the camera and the gimbal can be detached. Now what I like about that is if you break like the camera from a crash or something, because it's kind of like the most fragile part because it's a lot of moving parts, you can replace just that and not have to buy a completely new drone. So I must say, I think that's a pretty cool design. Iggy Nord asks if I think the heat of the day causes batteries to fail quicker. Yes, I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that, but because it's so hot out all the time, I'm sure it has some effect on batteries, drone batteries, camera batteries, just any type of battery. And my last drone, the batteries of that drone were inflating. It may have been the heat, or it may have just been normal, not normal, but maybe it would have just happened anyways. And because we have one of the rooms in our house with AC, an AC unit, which we've run sometimes when it gets really, really, really hot, I try to keep all my cameras and electronics in there. It's kind of like a dehumidifier because it'll help get the moisture out and maybe make the batteries and cameras last hopefully longer. Nia Blitzball League asks if this was filmed on my G7X. Yes, it was. Pretty much whenever I'm out adventuring and I'm not right at my house, I pretty much always vlog with the G7X. It's small, it's portable, it's simple, it has good audio, it has a pretty good video, so you know, that's what I pretty much use all the time. I do sometimes use a GoPro for getting like a first-person mouth mount footage, like when we were surfing. Use the mouth mount, and yeah. Oh yeah, check this out. This is a mango, a green mango. This mango isn't ripe yet. I mean, you could eat it. I used to eat them when they're green, but in a few weeks, maybe a month or so, these should start to ripen, and we will be having fresh mangoes very soon. So tempting to just want to pick, but no, leave the mangoes alone. Sport HD Android asks if I would recommend a Sony camera for making vlogs. Yeah, sure, I would totally recommend a Sony camera. I've never personally used a Sony for my videos. I've pretty much always used Canon, but I know there's a lot of YouTubers who use Sonys and they say good things about them. And there's a lot of good Sony cameras like the Sony RX100 Mark V, there's the A7X Mark II, but with everything, there's a compromise. So you may get better quality footage, like maybe 4K, but maybe the autofocus isn't as good, or maybe you'll get better footage, but it's a few $100s more. So you know, everything's a compromise, and you kind of just got to find what camera will suit your filmmaking best. Last question for today is from Bry Esks, and Bry asks, if I could only bring one item, what would it be? Well, it depends what it would be for. If it was for vlogging, probably G7X. I'm gonna say G7X because that's what I feel works really good for me. Survival, at least probably my brain, because my brain, I want all the knowledge that I have. That would be more useful than any item. And if it was an item, then probably like a knife. Knife would be pretty handy, or machete. A machete would work pretty good. Yeah, it depends for what I'm going to be doing. And today's positive quote is from Turismo Studios. Worry about loving yourself instead of worrying about other people loving you. Thank you, Turismo Studios. Thank you so much for the quote. It's a very good one. What this quote means to me is that you should worry about being proud and being happy about what you're doing before you worry about what other people think about you, because everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's gonna have opinions about what they think you should be doing, or if what you're doing is the right thing. But you know, if what you're doing is what's making you happy, it's your passion, like this is what I want to do, like, then that's totally cool. Like, it doesn't matter what other people think. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you all very much for all the questions and Q&As. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments of this video so I can answer them in a future video. And also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is click that little bell symbol right down below, and then you'll be notified every time I put out a new video. But you do have to be subscribed before you can click the notification button. Anyways, remember to keep always doing awesome stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow early in the morning.